So good morning. We are just left up with little bit of topic actually. I hope you know. So the last is Aurangzeb, and then after regional kingdoms. Okay, in that particularly emphasis is on the Vijayanagar kingdom. Okay, so as you can see that last class we have done the part of the Shahjahan. But फिर से एक बार वापस we'll be discussing about the Shahjahan after the completion of this course in art and culture. So hopefully I think start हो चुका है. कब है? Friday से. But batches are separated I think. नहीं same 5, 7, 10. कैसे तुम लोग तुम्हें सिर्फ तुम्हारा बैच पता चलेगा, मुझे पता चलेगा ना कि batches are separated. So two batches are there together and one batch is going into the other batch. ठीक है? I'll have to check. बता दूंगा. ठीक है? But it's going to start. ठीक है? So art and culture. So if we are starting, just wait 1 minute. If we are starting this week, so that we can end by the March end. ठीक है? 31st तक खत्म हो जाएगा. उसके पहले expect मत करना. ठीक है? हाँ. So anyways, it will take 15 to 16 classes and maximum that they can give 3 classes in a week. ठीक है? उससे ज्यादा तो नहीं हो सकता. So 3 classes in a week. So 4 हफ्ते 5 हफ्ते चाहिए. ठीक है? So 15 to 16 classes would be there in the art and culture. ठीक है? So let's start with the Aurangzeb's part. And his full name was Alamgir Aurangzeb. So Alamgir Aurangzeb, 1758 to 1707. So we discussed in the last class that how he came to power. He defeated his brother Darasuko, and not only defeat but also killing has happened. And then, अच्छा sorry, हाँ. So 1658 to 17 उल्टा चल गया. So now and he was also after the life of the rest of his brothers. Then I think I mentioned the story with you. Okay, and what treatment he gave to his own son Sultan. Then so now let's come to 1658. He has come to power. So now when he has come to power, let's look at the all India scenario that where the rule of the Mughal is not there. So basically from Maratha area until the southern part of India, the rule is not extended. Then particularly Bijapur and Golconda was not under the ambit of the Maratha Empire, not under the ambit of the Aurangzeb's empire, and so as the Maratha area. So now he launched campaigns to win these all areas, but then in winning these all areas, he has a formidable challenge, and that challenge was the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj of the Konkan and then Marathwada area. So we will have a little bit of discussion on the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. But before that, when Aurangzeb has come to power, so he started promoting orthodoxy. And then moreover, he was the one who has taken some extreme decisions, and these extreme decisions were religious divisive decisions. So for example, that he started to promote orthodoxy. At the same point of time, he's the one who started the destruction of many of the temples. So many of the important temples were destroyed at that time, which included Kashi Vishwanath, which included even Somnath, then, and so as the Kesav Rai temple and Govindadev temple of the Mathura Vrindavan. I have told you about the Govindadev temple. It was created by Man Singh, okay, and funded by Akbar, okay. So he destructed that temple also, and then he was after many temples. So that is what that is what leading to alienation of many of the people in the society with the Mughal court. And at the same point of time, he also banned many festivals. Okay? So it's not about this. So he only banned the Hindu festival, but he also banned the festivals which are not of the Indian origin. So for example, he banned the festival of Holi. Okay? So as celebrations in Diwali were not allowed. Then he also banned Muharram. Okay? Because why Muharram? Muharram was not belonging to the Sunni faith. It was belonging to the Shia faith. And he also banned one more festival, that is Nowruz. So Nowruz was the Persian. Okay? So it was Persian festival, and I think we have mentioned about it that Balban was the one who introduced it. So this was the initial part. Then another thing, that jizya tax, which was abolished by Akbar, now it was restarted by Aurangzeb. Then so he restarted those all taxes which were religiously discriminatory in nature. Then so एक बार लिखो, mention Aurangzeb after coming to power, Aurangzeb after coming to power started promoting orthodoxy, in Islam, and he started to take religious divisive decisions, full stop. For example, destruction of major temples, then comma, reimposition of jizya tax, and ban on festivals like Holi, Muharram, and Navroz. Then mention he wanted to expand his kingdom. He wanted to expand his empire. Kingdom nahi likha. Expand his empire in the southern part of country. But in this, his most important challenge was ruler of Marathwada, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Ruler of Marathwada, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So we will discuss Shivaji over here. Okay? We will discuss Shivaji and then we'll go into the Aurangzeb's part. Okay? So as far as the Shivaji's regime is concerned and his tenure is concerned, so Shivaji was son of the Konkan ruler Shahaji. Then he was son of the Konkan ruler Shahaji, and moreover, he was living with the neglected wife of the Shahaji, and the name of the mother of the Shivaji was Jijabai. Okay? And she was neglected. Then so she was living in Pune, and area of the Pune was given to Jijabai for the maintenance of the son Shivaji. Their original name was Shivaji Bhosle, okay? And his father name was Shahaji Bhosle. So they are living in Pune. Then in Pune, the upbringing of the Shivaji was under the guidance of Jijabai and also his guru, initial guru, Dadaji Kondadev. Then so he was his guardian. Now what has happened? 1647, when the death of the Dadaji Kondadev has happened. So then Shivaji came in contact with another guru whose name was Guru Ramdas. Then, and it is said that with Guru Ramdas he learned the art of the guerrilla warfare. Then, and he went on to become one of the greatest exponent of the guerrilla warfare in this country. Then, moreover, what has happened? That he was the challenge. So one of the challenge was at this time was Bijapur also. Okay? And Bijapur was a strong kingdom. So as far as the Bijapur story is concerned, it is a part of the Bahmani kingdom. And in Bijapur at this time when Shivaji was the ruler, so Bijapur was ruled by Badi Begum. Then her name was Badi Begum. Then, and she was the widow of the ruler. And she was a very strong-handed lady. And at the same time, The story goes back to Shivaji's father, Sahaji Bhosle. Sahaji Bhosle was actually a courtier in the Bijapur. Then, and he had a status of the big zamindar in the court of the Bijapur. Then, and what happened? Afzal Khan, who was the general of the Bijapur army, okay, he was a very close friend of the Shivaji's father, Sahaji Bhosle. But then came a time where Afzal Khan has done some sort of treachery, and then Sahaji Bhosle was brought into the chains into the Bijapur court. Then, and he was given some sort of punishment, which was jail up to certain number of years. So now this was very much there in the memory of the Chhatrapati Shivaji. And now what happened in 1659? Okay, so 1659, that Badi Begum, okay, she wanted Shivaji to arrested because Shivaji has made many progress in the Marathwada area. He has won many forts. He has captured so many areas which were erstwhile in the Bijapur kingdom. Then, so now she wanted Shivaji to be arrested, and that's the time when Afzal Khan has said to the lady that he will not only arrest him, okay, but immediately the queen must create an iron cage. Then queen must create an iron cage, and he will bring Shivaji alive in the iron cage. Then, and he made he was overwhelmed, bored on this statement, and he said that first you made the thing, then made the cage, iron cage, and then I will march to that place. So in reality, iron cage was created. And then after he started conversation with the Shivaji. So he has sent a letter to Shivaji whereby he wanted to meet Shivaji, and at the same point of time he was trying to lure him to come to the Bijapur court. Then, so in the letter he has written that your powers have increased, and then in this increasing power you need to be a little humble also, because you can create many enemies. So it's better to come in alliance with the Bijapur. Then, so looking at this particular letter, then reading this letter, Shivaji has replied back to Afzal Khan that it is better that we meet and decide all the matters in the meet itself. Then, so then the other terms and conditions which were laid down in this letter was basically that they must be meeting at a secluded place, and there would not be any armies. Then nobody will be bringing the armies, and then only the trust will develop. Then, so actually what happened, that the person who has carried the letter of the Afzal Khan, he was Kulkarni. Then his name, first name I'm forgetting. So Kulkarni was, when he was telling all these things, so what happened, that his facial gestures were very different. Shivaji read that facial gesture, and then he was pressurized that what is the exact matter. So then Kulkarni revealed, ulti kar diya sab kuch, okay? So he vomited everything. He was frightened and he vomited everything, that what was the plan. Then, and then after, when he told the plan, so Shivaji has sent the letter, जो मैंने अभी बोला, ठीक है, कि we will be meeting at a separate secluded place, nobody will be carrying their armies. So the place which was decided was the Pratapgarh fort. Then, and then General Bijapuri General Afzal Khan agreed for it, that he will be coming to the Pratapgarh fort. But then, moreover, he has made another plan. He came with his army. Then he came with his army, and his army was stationed little far away from the near about 15-20 kilometers from the Pratapgarh. Then, and it will not take much time for army to march to the Pratapgarh. Then Shivaji also knew that Afzal Khan will do the treachery, and he is not a man of that words. Then, so he cannot be trusted. So now what he has said to his army, then, that they are also standing 15-20 kilometers far from that place, and they were given instruction that by the time that till the time, if they are not firing any gunpowder, then so they will not come to the area. If the gunpowder shot is fired, so then understand that Afzal Khan has brought his army. Then, and then the war situation must happen. Moreover, he also made all the plans that what if he dies, because Afzal Khan cannot be trusted. So he has made a plan that if his death happens, so who will succeed him and how the administration will run, because he was very much confirmed about it that Afzal Khan will do something. So now in Pratapgarh fort, Afzal Khan came with 6 men, okay? And then after 6-7 people, and then Shivaji was already waiting. So Afzal Khan started appreciating the lavishes which were there, started appreciating that those lavish decorations which were there in the tent. And then after, he started abusing Shivaji, that how come a son of a zamindar has acquired this much wealth. Then, and then he took hold of the neck of the Shivaji. Then, so neck of the Shivaji, and started, you know, that twisting it. Then, And as far as both the personalities are concerned, so Shivaji was a normal human, that normal Indian figure whose height was just 5'9", and then Afzal Khan was 6'4". Then, so 6'4", and it was a well-built body. So nobody can move outside the grip of the Afzal Khan. It was, everybody was knowing that he was one of the strongest person at that time. So what Shivaji did, that before Shivaji could do anything, Afzal Khan removed one of his sword, and then he hit on the head of the Shivaji. Shivaji also knew that the favorite place of the Afzal Khan that he has done in the previously, so he has done his homework and research, is hitting on the head. Then, so what he did, that in his topi, in his hat, he is wearing a helmet. Then, so actually a cotton cloth was wrapped on his helmet. Then, so nothing, no injury happened on his head. And then after, what happened, the second attack, before it could come, okay, little bit of space got created in the arms of the Afzal Khan, and Shivaji removed his wagnak. So wagnak is something that you wear in this wo haath mein pehen ke aajkal. So so he removed his wagnak, and then with his wagnak he made a punch in the stomach of the Afzal Khan. And then when Afzal Khan was, now more space got created, and then he removed one dagger from the other side, and then he killed Afzal Khan. Not killed, he inserted into the Afzal Khan. So now Afzal Khan started shouting that to kill Shivaji. The other 6 men, they came to capture Shivaji, but before that it could happen, one of the general of the Shivaji, he came and he beheaded Afzal Khan. Then, so this is how the episode ended, and moreover it has sent tremors, okay, in many parts of the country, that a new ruler has arrived who is equally ferocious, who is equally strong, and the tremors were given to the Aurangzeb. So now Aurangzeb thought that Aurangzeb also wanted to kill Afzal Khan. He also wanted to fight with the Bijapur, but now he is already eliminated. So Aurangzeb thought that he already has eliminated, let's eliminate Shivaji, and then the Bijapur would be all mine. Right? So then he sent his trusted general Sahista Khan to fight with Shivaji. And Sahista Khan, when he is there, he was also seriously injured by the Shivaji. Okay? And he was also defeated. So Sahista Khan has to run back to the Mughal kingdom. So when he has run back to Mughal kingdom, now Aurangzeb realized that Shivaji is not an easy cake to defeat it. Then there must be some good preparation, and there must be some person of the intellect then who only can defeat Shivaji. So now he is looking at that entire North Indian scenario, and then he found only one person who was equally intelligent, that was Raja Jai Singh of Amer. Then, so now, since the Amer is one of the traditional ally of the Mughal from the time of the Akbar, okay? So from the time of the Akbar, and that's how, so Raja Jai Singh of Jaipur, okay? He was persuaded, and then after Jai Singh asked to the Aurangzeb that he will not fight in hurry, he will take his time. Then, so he made preparation for 5 years, and then in 1665, Battle of Purandar, he defeated Shivaji. So in this particular defeat, when the Shivaji's defeat has happened, so Shivaji submitted 23 out of his 35 forts to Jai Singh. Okay? And there was one more condition in this treaty, that Shivaji will have to visit the Aurangzeb's court in Agra. Okay? So now Shivaji visited Aurangzeb's court in Agra with his son Sambhaji. Then, now the conversation, all the dealings started in the Agra court, and moreover, Aurangzeb has made a plan that he will humiliate Shivaji. Then, so what he did, that all the other people who were invited, so they were given high chairs then, and Shivaji and his son, they were just given a stool, and very small stool, very, so बाकी लोग इस पे बैठे हैं और उन्हें इतनी छोटी सीट दी थी. So they did not, they decided that they will be standing only, and then they will not be sitting on that particular stool. Then, so then after, and Sambhaji, obviously son is there, so son will not be liking it. Father, maybe he will be little tolerant, but son will not be tolerant. So he was the one who was conversating. Then, and then after, Aurangzeb went on to say to Shivaji that he will have to accept the supremacy of Aurangzeb. Then, supremacy of Aurangzeb, consider that Aurangzeb is your ruler, and then you will be allowed to go back to your area. So this was another treachery which was done by the Aurangzeb. And actually it hasn't been done in the Mughal house previously by anybody, but it was only Aurangzeb who was bringing a bad name to all the legacies which has been left behind. Then, so what he did that when they refused, so he immediately ordered them to be arrested. Then they were arrested, they were put into the jail. But then it's a very rare that somebody calls someone to their own house just to arrest them. It's not a courage. Then if courage has to be defined, so it must be defined from the battlefield. Then that one must fight in the battlefield and let's see who is victorious. But then he arrested Shivaji. Now Jai Singh was also in shock, that he never expected that this will happen. Then that this will happen. And in fact, many of the courtiers, Darbaris who were there in the Aurangzeb's court, they did not felt good about it. That and they were also able to see कि आज तो ये शिवाजी है, but कल ये किसी पे भी आ सकता है. Then so there was a wave of sympathy for the Shivaji, and moreover, the keys of the jail was already handed over to Shivaji to escape from that place. Arrangement was also made that outside the jail a fruit vendor would be there, and in the fruit basket he can hide, and then he can be escorted out of the Agra. So according to the plan, Shivaji escaped out from the Agra imprisonment, and then he took a determination that he will not let Aurangzeb to penetrate through Deccan. 1667 was the death of the Jai Singh. Okay? He met his natural death, and that is the time onwards Shivaji started re-winning his territory. So all the forts that he has submitted to Jai Singh, he has captured, then majority of it, and then he has further expanded his area. And in 1674, Shivaji celebrated his coronation ceremony and what we call Rajyabhishek. Then, so his coronation ceremony, and then he led the firm foundation of the Maratha Empire in 1674. And the word that we use, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So Chhatrapati means king. Okay? So now he has taken the title of the Chhatrapati. Then, so 6 years, from 7 years basically. So from say 1674 to 1680, nobody was able to penetrate through the Deccan. And Shivaji's regime was glorious by this point of time. But then his natural death happened in 1680. And then once again, there is an opportunity before Aurangzeb to fulfill his dream of the Marathwada, Bijapur, and so as Golconda. Then, so only after it, it is in 1686 that he has captured Bijapur and 1687 Golconda. Then, but then there are a few other things also we'll mention later on. So you write paragraph change करके लिखना. So we are just writing brief history of the Shivaji. ठीक है? So लिखो लास्ट लाइन क्या लिखा था? मोस्ट फॉर्मिडेबल चैलेंज और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चैलेंज वाज छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज. ये लिखा है ना? ठीक है. सो मेंशन शिवाजी वाज सन ऑफ conquered ruler Sahaji Bhosle. Konkan ruler Sahaji Bhosle. Then mention he was living in Pune. He was living in Pune with his neglected mother. He was living in Pune with his neglected mother, Jijabai. Neglected mother, Jijabai. इजी नाम है. वो भी मैं बोर्ड पे लिखूं. ठीक है. ऐसे तो दिन भर जीजा जीजा करते रहते हो तुम लोग. लिखो. Then Jijabai. His upbringing happened under the guidance of Guru Dadaji Konda Dev. Guru Dadaji Konda Dev. Then mention after the death of Konda Dev in 1647. After the death of Konda Dev in 1647, Shivaji met another Guru, Ramdas. met another Guru, Ramdas, with whom he learnt the art of guerrilla warfare. That he went on to become the greatest exponent of guerrilla warfare. He went on to become the greatest exponent of guerrilla warfare. Then mention in 1659, Shivaji defeated and killed Bijapuri general Afzal Khan. Then mention after it Bijapuri general Afzal Khan. It was an alarming situation for Aurangzeb also. Who sent his trusted general Sahista Khan to fight with Shivaji in 1660. Full stop. Shivaji also defeated Sahista Khan. And seriously injured him. In this situation, Shivaji persuaded Rajput ruler Jai Singh first. Aurangzeb persuaded Rajput ruler Jai Singh first of Amer to fight with Shivaji. Then mention further. As such, in Battle of Purandhar, 1665, Jai Singh was able to defeat Shivaji because of his careful and intelligent preparation. Then intelligent preparation. Mention as per the treaty, Shivaji submitted 23 out of 35 forts. 23 out of 35 forts to Jai Singh. 23 out of 35 forts to Jai Singh, and he also agreed to visit Aurangzeb's court in Agra. Then full stop. फिर पैराग्राफ चेंज करो and then you mention Aurangzeb performed a treachery. Should I write the spelling? Performed a treachery in Agra court. धोखा, ठीक है? Agra court, and arrested Shivaji. Full stop. Then mention. But due to support of many courtiers, Shivaji was able to escape. Support of many courtiers, Shivaji was able to escape from Aurangzeb's captivity. Then Shivaji took a resolve that he will not let Aurangzeb penetrate into Deccan. Full stop. He started the campaign to win over his territory. In 1674, Shivaji celebrated his coronation ceremony. And laid the foundation of Maratha Empire. Then mention his glorious rule continued till 1680. Till his natural death. Okay? Meaning that in 1680 he met his natural death. Full stop. Till he met his natural death. Full stop. Then mention after his death, Aurangzeb took a sigh of relief. And reinitiated his campaign of Deccan. Full stop. In 1686, he annexed Bijapur. And 1687 Golconda. So in 1686 he annexed Bijapur and 1687 Golconda. What about the Marathwada area? So now understand. So in 1689 Aurangzeb captured Shivaji's son Sambhaji. Then actually Sambhaji, his wife and his son, ठीक है, साहू. So they were in one of the Maratha fort, and actually in the night Aurangzeb's people have reached to the fort, and they have in those days we call it captured, but in today's time we will call it kidnapped. Okay? So they were kidnapped, they were taken to Mughal court. And once again, Aurangzeb, what he did, that he performed one of the august and very brutal act, whereby he hacked Sambhaji to death. Then, so Aurangzeb hacked Sambhaji to death, and then wife of the Sambhaji and the son of the Sambhaji, who is grandson of the Shivaji, Sahu. So they were kept in the Mughal captivity till 1707, when Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah is coming to power. So he will release Sahu. Then what about the Maratha area? So 1689, this event has happened. So basically it also led to capture of some of the Maratha area also. Not entirely, but some area. The remaining area was ruled by Shivaji's second son, Raja Ram. Then, so Raja Ram started from 1689. 1700, his rule ended with his death. And then 17 to 1707 was the rule of the Tarabai, then who was the wife of the Raja Ram. Okay? And she was ruling on the behalf of the minor son Shivaji II. Okay? So this is the overall story. And 1707 you have already started with, or you have studied in modern, the later Mughals, in which you have talked about the Shivaji and so as the rise of the Peshwas. Then, so just 2-3 line add karo isme, that in 1689, Aurangzeb captured Shivaji's eldest son, Sambhaji, his wife and his son, Sahu. Full stop. So, आगे लिखो. Sambhaji was hacked to death. Then, HACKED, hacked to death. Then, and Sahu was kept in Mughal captivity. Till 1707. Then, meanwhile, Maratha area was ruled by younger son of Shivaji, Raja Ram. Then, and then mention, after the death of Raja Ram, his widow Tarabai ruled in between 1700 to 1707. Then, so this is what is about the Shivaji's entire episode, and from here onwards we have already studied in the modern. Okay? So let's come back to the Aurangzeb's part. So now Aurangzeb's victory with the Maratha area is already that it's a big success for him, and then now he's controlling. So he's controlling almost 80% of India. Then after what happened, 1707, death of Aurangzeb. But then there are some stories at this point of time. Okay? I'll tell you one last story related to Aurangzeb. So I don't know I have told you or not about that Red Fort and Jain temple. Have I told you? किसी ने बोला था yes. So just listen, I'll tell you, okay? So Aurangzeb in the last leg of his life, he was not the similar person, okay? So he was not the similar person, and moreover, it happens to everyone, okay? That no matter however how much crime you have done, whatever august things you have done, but then last में थोड़ा बहुत realization ही होता है. Then so तब भगवान आ देते हैं. In fact, Jinnah also remembered the God in the last time itself. Then puri life he did not remember, but then his memoir, if you read, then his biography, if you read, so it's an interesting biography. I would say that I would rather prefer to read the biography of Jinnah than anybody who is very popular nationalist in India, because there is no masala in Indian biographies, but then is hell lot of masala in the Jinnah's biography. Okay? So who the hell wants to be having the food bland then? So anyways, so Aurangzeb last leg of his life, he's living in Red Fort, Delhi. Okay? So Red Fort, Delhi, Shahjahanabad construction has been completed, and then this became the seat of the power. That so now what happened that if you ever go to Lal Killa, okay? So just look at the front of the Lal Killa, जहाँ पे वो flag hoisting ceremony होती है. So just उसके सामने there is a Jain temple. Daryaganj street is there. Sorry, that Fatehpuri Masjid street or Chandni Chowk street is there. Those side. And on the left hand side, okay, if you're seeing from the Red Fort, so there is this red color Jain temple, and it is a Prachin Jain Mandir. Just like in Hinduism, you have seen that ki Prachin Hanuman Mandir. So वहाँ पे भी Jainism में भी concept होता है Prachin Jain Mandir. So it is one of the oldest Jain temples in Delhi, and a hell lot of reverence and sanctity of this place is believed to be. So now what happened that Aurangzeb one fine day in the morning, he was walking in the open area, and then what happened, he was that all of a sudden the sound of the bell started to come. Then so he was irritated by the sound of the bell. He inquired about it from where it is coming. Then so they all told that it is coming from the temple which is in front of the Red Fort. Then so he called the authorities of the temple, those priests who were there in the temple, and he gave a warning that next morning, if I listen to this particular sound, then so you all will be buried along with the temple. So now the warning was served, and they also said that next morning onwards it will not happen. Then once again in the next morning, once again he is moving in the park then and doing the same activity, and the bell sound started to come. Then so Aurangzeb got irritated this time, and he decided he himself will move to the temple. Then so he moved to the temple with all his people, and then after he started inquiring about that from where the sound is coming. So there was a very big bell, and the bell was ringing incessantly. Then as it is said, thoda magical lagega, but then that's how Rana Safvi has wrote this particular thing. He is a famous historian. He was associated with the Rajya Sabha TV earlier. Then abhi Sansad TV ho gaya, and he is also the professor in the Delhi University. Then so I'm telling you the story that she has written. Then कि अपने इनसे बना के नहीं बता रहा. Rana Safvi. ठीक है? So that's the name. So now understand. So what she has written, that he went inside the temple and he stood, that he was standing over there. The bell was still ringing. Aurangzeb was mesmerized, and then he decided to sit in the temple, and he was sitting in the temple for 4 hours. There was nobody who was ringing the bell, but bell was automatically ringing, and that was not the time that Thomas Alva Edison has invented electricity. So obviously the reason cannot be electricity. Then so Aurangzeb was obviously bewildered, and then it is said that he had some sort of religious spiritual experience over there. And the reason, one more reason, is that before it, Aurangzeb, though we have called him fanatic, we have called him that he tried to destroy many things, but then what happened, there was a change in his life. So he became very much that conscious about it, and then after he decided that he will not destroy any temple. And moreover, he also became one of the follower of one of the famous Jain saint, okay, Jin Prabha Suri. Okay. So in fact, many a times he sent many donations to the Jin Prabha Suri, and at the same point of time, he always used to ask him, that Jain saint, that if he is in any need, so he must let it know to the Aurangzeb that what is there. So it is said that around 1695 onwards, he stopped the destruction of the temples then, but then it is also said that it was too late for Aurangzeb to recorrect his mistakes. Then, so that is one story. So, and after that, basically, when the Bahadur Shah has come, so he followed that the second phase policy of the Aurangzeb, not to destroy the temples. Then, so this is one part of the Aurangzeb story. And as you know, rest of the things we have already discussed, that because of his policy, the Mughal decline has happened. Then, and his alienation policy, religious divisive policy, moreover, Jagirdari crisis also happened. You remember that you have all studied. So that will be the part which you can add in this, ठीक है? But already हम उसको अलग-अलग कर चुके हैं, ठीक है? So now let's go into the next is the regional kingdoms. So एक last line लिख लो. What is the last line that you have written? But we don't need to write anything. बस यही लिखना हो कि Aurangzeb died in 1707. That is implicit. So write regional kingdoms. Mention a title. Regional powers during Delhi Sultanate. So regional powers during Delhi Sultanate. So first, a small discussion. Though Bahmani was founded later on, but Bahmani हम लोग पहले देख लेते हैं. We'll see Vijayanagar as the last topic. ठीक है? So Bahmani kingdom. So remember Muhammad bin Tughlaq's regime and Muhammad bin Tughlaq's time, that we mentioned that total 23 revolts happened at the time of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, but then he was able to suppress only 2. Okay? So one of the successful revolt was the Bahmani kingdom. Then, but iski bhi wajah, that reasons are going back to the experiments of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Remember that his experiment of Delhi to Daulatabad. Then, so in fact, everyone was compelled to go back to this particular place. Then I think I told you some incident associated with the Sufi saints also. Okay? So I talked about Nizamuddin Auliya. Then, so Nizamuddin Auliya, somehow he stayed in Delhi. He was not forced. There was one more Sufi saint who, after the death of the Nizamuddin Auliya, he would be the most popular Sufi saint of Delhi. Okay? And his name is Nasiruddin Chirag. Okay? So in fact, there are some unique aspects about the Nasiruddin Chirag. I'll tell you one story related to him. It's not related to Aurangzeb. It's not related to anybody. It is related to the Nasiruddin Chirag's life. He was such a devout follower of the religion that he had some supernatural powers. It is said that once he was doing the namaz, he was performing the namaz, and at that point of time, one of his enemy came and then he stabbed him. Okay? Nasiruddin Chirag was stabbed in the stomach. He did not resisted it. He continued his namaz. He performed his namaz. Then though he was bleeding profusely, and then he was about to die, but he did not disrupted it. And then after, when he was over with his prayers, so then what he did, that he asked that guy to immediately leave the place. Otherwise, the people will capture him and hack him to death, because he has attempted to kill Nasiruddin Chirag. So he told that guy that how to escape from Delhi. Okay? He escaped from Delhi. And then after, miraculously, with the prayers of the God and then other people and some remedy, his life was saved. So people were having this kind of power. So Nasiruddin Chirag was one of the person. He is called as Chirag Delhi. Then, and moreover, at this time, Muhammad bin Tughlaq has said Nasiruddin Chirag, okay, that if you don't want to go to Daulatabad, so you'll have to do one thing. Okay? And what is that? So you will have to do the work of Jamadar. You understand what is Jamadar? And he gleefully accepted it and he did the work of Jamadar. Okay? So he did not went from Delhi to Daulatabad. So only Sufi saints, somehow they remained in Delhi. Rest of the people, they all were driven to Daulatabad. Okay? And a good number of people died also in this movement. And moreover, what happened? The Mughal nobles who were there, then they started feeling nostalgic about Delhi. They all started feeling, even the Delhi Sultanate nobles. So they started feeling nostalgic about it, and so as the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So when they were moving back to Delhi, so that is the time when one of the noble has said to Muhammad bin Tughlaq that this does not augurs well for your reputation, that you decided to come from Delhi to this place, and when you are deserting the Daulatabad, so people will consider you as a weak ruler. Then, so you must make a provision that somebody must be there in the Daulatabad to look after its administration and control the people of the Daulatabad. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he realized that whatever he's saying, that is completely right. And then Muhammad bin Tughlaq asked that noble, who better than you can do this work? Okay? So then that noble accepted it, ki, yes, who better than me can do this work? You go and I will handle. And how he handled? 1647, he declared formation of a new sultanate. And the person was Alauddin Behman Shah. Okay? So he declared. So this is how the people of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq's court, they have fooled Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay? So second one, and actually the first instance was the Vijayanagar kingdom. I'll tell you how. Okay? But isme likho that it was founded by one of the noble of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's court, one of the noble of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's court, Alauddin Shah Behman. Alauddin Shah Behman. Then mention further Alauddin Shah Behman. In 1347. 1347. Then capital of Bahmani kingdom, was at Gulbarga. And where is Gulbarga? हाँ, नदन कर्नाटका. ठीक है? कोई बोल रहा था कश्मीर. That is Gulmarg, not Gulbarg. ठीक है? So there are many Kashmiris in class. पकड़ के बताएंगे तुम्हें. So नहीं, वैसे भी तुम लोग कर चुके हो, कौन सी नई बात है? RV5. ठीक है? So mention further. इसमें लिखो, कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है. ठीक है? The most important phase of Bahmani kingdom, was under its vizier. Spelling देख लो. Its vizier Mahmud Gawan. 1463 to 81. Mahmud Gawan. Then write little bit about the Mahmud Gawan, that who was he. So they need to check it. Okay? So you're right. He was expert of Islamic theology. Mathematics, and he was also a reputed poet and prose writer. Then mention prose writer. He became minister during the tenure of Bahmani ruler Mahmud Shah III. tenure of Mahmud Shah III. Done? Then लिखो. Don't focus on it. Okay. See, this is a reputation खराब करने वाली चीज है ये, ठीक है. आगे लिखो. So mention, he was an intelligent strategy maker. He was an intelligent strategy maker, which led to expansion of Bahmani kingdom. Then Bahmani kingdom. In fact, during his prime ministership, there was good growth of secular education. Then mention, by 1480, the nobles of Deccani group started to conspire against govern. Mahmud Gawan, basically. Gawan, which led to his killing on the orders of the rulers. So now listen. Mahmud Gawan was the most important person, as we mentioned, and then expansion has also happened. Then moreover, a holistic growth is there. He is maintaining secularism in the kingdom, but then what happened? That his secularism was sacrificed on the altar of the religious politics at that time, and it is considered as very unfortunate phase in the Bahmani kingdom. Then, so Bahmani kingdom, which could have advanced and which could have continued for a longer period of time, after the death of the Mahmud Gawan, it started to decline then, and it fell in the hands of the people who had divisionary tactics then. So now 1481, his death has happened, and Vijayanagar kingdom, which was the strongest kingdom by this point of time, it further became more strong when Vijayanagar ruler Krishnadev Rai has come to power in 1509 then, and by 1518 Bahmani kingdom got divided into 5 houses, and these houses we mentioned from very long time. So what are these? So these are Bijapur, Golconda, Bidar, Berar and Ahmednagar. Then so you write, after the death of Gawan, decline of Bahmani kingdom started. Full stop. By 1518, it got divided into 5 houses. So right, Ahmednagar, Bidar. So Ahmednagar is in Maharashtra. Bidar कर्नाटका में, कर्नाटका, ठीक है. Then Berar, Karnataka, and then you write, so Bidar, Berar, Golconda is Telangana, and Bijapur, Karnataka. Berar, Telangana. and Bijapur is also Karnataka. So these were the 5 Bahmani houses. Okay? Now we'll talk about the Bahmani houses once again in Vijayanagar kingdom. So let's start with the most important topic, and that is the Vijayanagar kingdom. Okay? So likho, just mention a title. Vijayanagar kingdom. So the foundation of Vijayanagar happened in 1336 by 2 brothers, Harihar and Bukkaraya. Okay? But then there was role of their guru, and who was their guru? Madhav Devaranya. Then, so just let me write the name and then I'll tell you that what was the story. Madhav Devaranya. So listen, that Harihar and Bukkaraya, they were the 2 brothers, okay? And originally Harihar and Bukkaraya were the courtiers of the Hoysala. Okay? So they were the courtiers of the Hoysala, and which ruler? The one of the very famous ruler of the Hoysalas, Bhallal Dev III. Then, so Bhallal Dev III. So they were the courtiers of Hoysala ruler. Now what has happened? Hoysalas were completely decimated by the Tughlaqs. Pehle to Alauddin has led the invasion, Malik Kafur. And after the Malik Kafur invasion, when Muhammad bin Tughlaq has come to power, so he has completely taken over the Hoysala area. Then, now these 2 brothers were actually arrested. Then they were taken as a prisoner to the Muhammad bin Tughlaq's court. So these 2 brothers agreed that whatever Muhammad bin Tughlaq will be doing, and in fact, over the period that they not only accepted, as it is said that they accepted Islam and they became the export of the Holy Quran. Okay? So now they had so much of expertise that they can even contest anybody. Okay? So they can even quote any such part of the Quran if it is said. So now Muhammad bin Tughlaq developed a lot of faith in these 2 brothers then, and moreover what's happened in 1336, a news came that there is some sort of upheaval in the Dwara Samudra area, basically the Hoysala area, and then army was to be sent to suppress the revolt. So then Muhammad bin Tughlaq entrusted these 2 brothers, since they were belonging to that area, that they will suppress the revolt, and in fact they volunteered that who better than us, okay, can suppress the revolt. We are from that area. They were sent then, and actually it all turned out to be that there was no revolt from that area. Okay? It was just a fabricated news, okay, which was created by their guru Madhav Devaranya. Then देखो social media नहीं था तब भी news create कर दिया. So Madhav Devaranya created this news, and then they went over there, and it led to the foundation of the Vijayanagar kingdom. Okay? So this is how it was founded. Overall, there were 4 dynasties which ruled in the Vijayanagar kingdom, and from 1336 से लेके 1640 तक. So these dynasties are, the very first dynasty to Harihar and Bukkaraya belong is called as Sangama dynasty. Then, so Sangama dynasty, and after Sangama, so देखो ये Sangama confuse मत करना Sangam age. That is a different one. Then there it is Sangama dynasty. Then comes Suluva. Okay, Suluva dynasty, and then comes Tuluva, and the last one is Aravidu. So these were the 4 dynasties which has ruled in Vijayanagar kingdom. The most important on which we will be having discussion is this one, Tuluva dynasty, and why so? Krishnadeva Raya belonged to this particular dynasty. So likho, mention. Vijayanagar kingdom was founded by 2 brothers. Vijayanagar kingdom was founded by 2 brothers, Harihar and Bukkaraya. Harihar and Bukkaraya, with the help of their guru. Harihar and Bukkaraya, with the help of their guru, Madhav Devaranya. With the help of their guru, Madhav Devaranya. Then mention. in 1336 ऐड कर लेना डेट भी in 1336. Then mention in between 1336 to 1640, in between 1336 to 1640, overall four dynasties ruled in Vijayanagar kingdom. Ruled in Vijayanagar kingdom, which are so mention. First you write Sangama dynasty. Sangama dynasty. Then next you write Suluva dynasty. Suluva dynasty, Tuluva dynasty, and the last one, Aravidu dynasty. Aravidu dynasty. Then mention in this time period, Vijayanagar was visited by many foreign travelers. Vijayanagar was visited by many foreign travelers who are. So we are mentioning those travelers which has come to Vijayanagar. So, and their nationality also I am writing. Just give me 1 minute. So first you write Abdur Razak. And Abdur Razak came from Samarkand. Where is Samarkand? Good. Uzbekistan. Okay. So Samarkand is the part of the closer to the Fergana Valley. And where is Fergana Valley? Uzbekistan, but also Kyrgyzstan. दोनों में है, ठीक है? And actually Babur originally belonged to the Fergana Valley, ठीक है? So it is there in both the countries, then Fergana Valley. Then Abdur Razak के बाद next you write for now Muniz. नाम से guess करो from which country he must be. He was Muniz was Italian. And Niccolo di Conti. Guess with the name which हाँ पूरी दुनिया से था ये. He was also Italian. Then Duarte Barbosa. Guess? Portuguese. Then mention Domingo Pace. He was also Portuguese. कितना लिखा है? 5. Then mention Nunez. Nunez you have already written. Nikitin. ये guess कर सकते हो. It is easy. Russian. ठीक है? So Russian. Now you write in Nikitin. Add करो. Mention. So he visited Bahmani kingdom. He visited Bahmani kingdom. Nikitin में लिखना. I think for now Nunez is not Italian. He's not think. Actually, he is Portuguese. Nunez is Portuguese. Only Conti is Italian. Then So Nikitin visited Bahmani kingdom, but he has also in his travelogue he has mentioned about the Vijayanagar. But then he clearly writes that he visited Bahmani kingdom. Okay. So now let's come to the most important dynasty of the Vijayanagar, and that is the Tuluva dynasty. So एक बार लिखो just one line. Tuluva dynasty was the most important dynasty of Vijayanagar. Then it reached its climax. During the rule of Krishnadeva Raya. Then, so write a title, Krishnadeva Raya. And his timeline is from 1509 to 1529. 1509 to 1529. So now listen, as we mentioned that he was the most important ruler of this dynasty, and it was the climax of the Vijayanagar kingdom. Then, so there are many such things that we need to talk about the Krishnadev Raya, but then in the Babar's episode we mentioned a little bit about him. So Babar has mentioned in his autobiography Tujhka Babari that Krishnadev Raya was the most powerful and the most respected ruler of India. Then, so now whatever Babar has written, it must be because of some of the reasons. So let's discuss that. What is one of the initial reason which Babar has also taken note? So one of the adversary, or basically the adversary of the Vijayanagar kingdom, is the Bahmani. Then, and in Bahmani kingdom, Bijapur kingdom was the one with which Vijayanagar always had a confrontation. So historically, the area of the one which we mentioned during Chalukya Pallava, you remember? What is the name of the Doab? Raichur Doab. And at that time, what we called? Tungabhadra Doab. Okay? So Raichur Doab, so that Tungabhadra Doab, nowadays it is known as the Raichur Doab. And this Doab area was historically with the Vijayanagar kingdom. But then, due to the expansion of the Bahmani kingdom, it has come under the control of the Bahmani. Then, so now, Vijayanagar kingdom ruler Krishnadev Rai led a campaign to get back the Raichur Doab area. So now, he marched toward the Raichur fort, and then convincingly he defeated the army of the Bijapur. Then, after this, what has happened? The Bijapuri ruler, Adil Shah, he has sent a letter. Then, so he has sent a letter to that Krishnadev Rai that this is not done and this is not right. The way you have captured the Raichur Doab, that you did not give initial notice that you are going to attack, then we were not prepared, and then the attack happened. Then, so it would have been better that pre-informed battle must have happened. So now Krishnadev Rai has sent a letter to the Bijapuri ruler that if you feel that if it was not right, so we can renegotiate on it. Then we can renegotiate on it, and I assure you that I will not bring the army then, and you don't need to take the pain of coming to my place. I myself, putting my life on stake, I will come to your place then, and then we will have a discussion then. So now what happened? So he felt that Bijapuri ruler felt that though the Krishnadev Rai is writing in this way, but he is threatening that he will come to his place. And what he did, that when Vijayanagar kingdom ruler Krishnadev Rai, he started moving towards the Bijapur, Bijapuri ruler fled from the Bijapur. Okay? So he fled from the Bijapur. Then he went over there. Okay? And after he went over there, so what he did, that he found it very unusual and very amusing that he got threatened just by a letter. So what he did, that he has chosen one of the son of the Bijapuri ruler. He reappointed his son on the throne of the Bijapur, okay, and then he returned back. So it is said that there was a chance, open chance there with the Krishnadev Rai to annex Bijapur, but he did not perform that act. Then And in fact, people of the Bijapur gave him the title Yavan Samrat Sthapanacharya. Then, so what is Yavan Samrat? Meaning that basically Turkish people are called as Yavan. Then, and obviously that Bijapuri rulers are the Turkish lineage from the Mughal, that is Delhi Sultanate kingdom. Then, so this is what title was given to him. Then, so this is what has been taken as a note by the Babur, and then he mentioned this particular thing. Then apart from it, obviously they were adversaries, they would be enemies. There are many reasons for it, but then, and many times that enmity is depicted on the basis of the religion, but it was lesser on the basis of religion, more on the basis of the expansion of the area. So for example, that we get to know in the Vijayanagar kingdom's army that good proportion of the soldiers from all the sections of the society were there. Hindus, Muslims, and everybody was there. Then, so there was no discrimination in terms of employment with the other religion or other faith people. Then apart from it, he was a devout follower of the Hinduism, and he has consolidated some of the Hinduism processes and practices in the southern India, and he has created some of the famous temples of the southern India. We'll mention in a meanwhile. Apart from it, he was not just progressive in these terms, but also progressive in the terms of the scenario of the women. Then, so for example, that as you know, that prostitution, institution of the prostitution, and how the females are mistreated in the institution of the prostitution. So it is said that he was in love with one of the prostitute. Then after, when many such bad names were given to the prostitute, rather than ascribing it to the king, so bad names were given to the prostitute. So he got married to that prostitute. Then, and he made that lady as the queen of the kingdom. Then, so many such notions which were against the ladies who are in this profession, so they were dispelled at this point of time. Moreover, he was also very progressive person as compared to the timeline of that age. Then, so what he did, that he appointed many women in the high positions. Okay? Women were astrologers also. We also call them soothsayers. Then, so they were astrologers. Even women wrestlers were also there. Then, and even there were many of the bodyguards of the Krishnadev Raya who were transgenders. Then, so society at his point of time was catering to everyone, not just cherry picking somebody, but was catering to everyone. So this is how he was a unique character in the history. Then apart from it, let's come to his initiative related to Hinduism, and his initiatives related to the Telugu literature would be the last thing. Okay? So ये Telugu literature पहले बात कर लेते हैं. His age is considered as the golden age of the Telugu literature. Then he himself was a great scholar of the Sanskrit language, and he also knew Kannada language, and he had expertise in the Kannada language because his origin is Kannada. So how come anybody from Karnataka in this class? A good number of the people. So Tulu. Tuluva is derived from the word Tulu. Tulu is a language which is spoken in the area of the Mangalore to Mangalore say, I would say, okay, the name of the area. So in between Hassan to Mangalore, so this language is very popular. Those who are from Karnataka, they might be knowing. Okay? And see, just like ki, North India mein jab hum baat karte hain ki Hindi is the language, but actually not exactly everyone speak Hindi in their houses. Okay? In the professional environment, people speak Hindi, but when they go into their houses, particularly from the northern India, so they are speaking Awadhi, Braj, Bhojpuri, okay, and Haryanvi. Okay? So these all are the dialects of the Hindi, but then not exactly Hindi. So similarly, Tulu is not exactly Kannada. It's a dialect. You can say, maximum we can say it's a dialect of the Kannada. And as like that, all the other languages of the southern India, they also do have the dialect. So for example, the Malayalam which is used in the northern Kerala, it is not similar to the Malayalam which is used in the Trivandrum, southern Kerala. So there is difference in the language. So his origin was from the Tulu region. That's why Tuluva dynasty. But then he had more expertise in the Telugu language. So not only he patronized Sanskrit and Kannada, but then his love was towards the Telugu language. So in Telugu language, he himself wrote a very famous poetry, and the name of the poetry is the Amukta Malyada. So Amukta Malyada. And moreover, he maintained 8 luminaries of the Telugu language in his court, and these luminaries were called as Ashtadiggaj. So who were the important people in the Ashtadiggaj? The most famous was Peddana. Okay? नहीं, Peddana, ठीक है. So Peddana is regarded as the father of the Telugu literature, ठीक है. He is regarded as the father figure of the Telugu literature, and in fact he wrote one of the very famous book of that time, Manu Charitam. Then, so it's Peddana. Then comes many other people are there. One of it is the Tenali Raman. Then, but he was not the most famous. So Tenali Raman, then Surana, Thimmana, ठीक है. So they were also one of the famous writers in his court. Then, so now Telugu literature, whatever achievement was there in the time of the Krishnadevaraya, that actually made Telugu a popular language, and at the same point of time, its further progression happened, refinement happened during his period. So this question was asked in mains paper, ठीक है? I think in 2016, काफी time हो गया, ठीक है? So 2016, that Krishnadevaraya's contribution towards this literature, ठीक है? So that question, straightforward question was there, कि कोई भी घुमा उमा के नहीं पूछा है कुछ भी, ठीक है? So straightforward, but then you needed to know the things related to it, some of the books, some of the people, then, and then after we need to talk about that, his temple construction thing, ठीक है? So लिखो, mention. He was the most enlightened ruler. He was the most enlightened ruler of Vijayanagar history. Most enlightened ruler of Vijayanagar history. Then mention, you're right. Babur mentioned in his biography, Babur mentioned in his biography, Tujh ka Babri, mentioned in his biography, Tujh ka Babri, that Krishnadev Raya was the most powerful and respected ruler of India. Respected ruler of India. Then mention after it. Despite defeating Bijapuri army in Raichur, despite defeating Bijapuri army in Raichur, Krishnadev Rai did not annex Bijapur kingdom. Rather, he appointed a rightful person from Bijapuri dynasty, to the throne of Bijapur. From Bijapuri dynasty to the throne of Bijapur. At this time, he was given the title of Yavan Samrat Sthapanacharya. He was given the title of Yavan Samrat Sthapanacharya. Then Yavan Samrat Sthapanacharya. Full stop. Then mention. अब पैराग्राफ चेंज कर लेना, ठीक है? He was highly progressive ruler. And the composition of his army was highly heterogeneous. Which included good number of officers, which included good number of officers from Muslim community. Officers from Muslim community. Then mention during his tenure, women were accorded very high respect in the society. Women were accorded very high respect in the society. Then mention after it. They were also appointed to high official positions. High official position. Then mention women were astrologers. Women were astrologers, soothsayers, wrestlers, in Vijayanagar kingdom. Then Vijayanagar kingdom. Then mention a paragraph change karo and then you write his period is also referred as golden age of Telugu literature. Golden age of Telugu literature. Then Krishnadev Raya himself was the devotee, not devotee, sorry, scholar of, himself was a scholar of Sanskrit, Kannada, and Telugu language. Then mention Telugu language, full stop. Then he was a prolific writer. Of Telugu. And he wrote a famous Telugu poetry. Amukta Malyada. Famous Telugu poetry Amukta Malyada. He also maintained 8 luminaries of Telugu. In his court, who were popularly known as Ashtadiggaj. Full stop. Then you write the most important among them was Peddana. The most important among them was Peddana, who is regarded as father figure of Telugu literature. Father figure of Telugu literature. Then mention. He composed Manu Charitam. He composed Manu Charitam. Manu Charitam, and also translated Mahabharat Ramayana in Telugu. Also translated Mahabharat Ramayana in Telugu. Then mention. The other important literary figures were Tenali Raman, Thimmana, Surana, etc. Thimmana, Surana, etc. Then, so now listen. So let's come to the temple part. And in fact, temple part, we will just write the names, but then more description we read in the Vijayanagar temples in the culture part. But let's start with it then. So he is also attributed with that construction of the many of the temples, and then renovation of the many of the sacred places. So he was a devout follower of the Hinduism, and then he created some of the famous temples of that time. So for example, that he is attributed with the creation of one of the very famous temple, which is known as Hazar Ramaswamy temple. Then, so Hazar Ramaswamy temple, and then a temple which was in news very recently. Okay, and I'll tell you how it was in news. So basically, before the inauguration of the Ram temple, Prime Minister has visited many temples. Okay, and basically the path of the Lord Ram to Lanka. Okay, so in that there comes a temple which is at Lepakchi. Okay, and the name of the temple is the Veerabhadra temple of Lepakchi, dedicated to Lord Ram. But then in Lepakchi, there is obviously originally dedicated to Ram, but then what is the story of this place, Lepakchi? Anyone who knows? So, yeah, please. Jatayu's death. Very good, exactly. Okay. So actually, it is in the Ramayana story that this is the place where Jatayu has fought with the Ravana. Then fought with the Ravan, but then he was not successful, and Ravan has cut one of the feather of the Jatayu. And then Jatayu fell at this particular place, Lepakchi. So when Lord Ram has located it, so then what has happened? So he has asked about the whereabout and how it has happened. So moreover, that Jatayu not only tells the whereabout of the Ravan, that where he has gone, where he has taken Sita, and then at the same point of time, he is blessed to die in the arms of the Lord himself. Then, so he dies over there. So then Lord Ram at that particular place, after that he performs the last death rituals of the Jatayu, and then he does the Aradhana of his Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata is that his own Devata, his own God. So who is the God of the Lord Ram? Lord Shiva. Okay? So he is doing the Aradhana at the Lepakchi, and there is a shivling in the Lepakchi. Okay? So that temple was created by the temple was already there, but then it was renovated by the Krishnadevaraya. And one of the most famous temple in the Andhra is the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. Okay? So the sanctity of the place is longer than the Vijayanagar rule, and it's from the ancient time. But then he renovated the temple premise. In fact, those who have been to Tirupati, they must have seen a life-size figure of the Krishnadevaraya. Okay? Anybody who has visited? There are few people. Okay? So you must have seen that there is a one big image of the Krishnadevaraya. So this is what is his temple architecture related activity. But as far as the temple features are concerned, वो हम art and culture में लिखेंगे. ठीक है? So mention, you write. He was the devout follower of Hinduism. He was the devout follower of Hinduism and constructed and renovated many temples. Many temples. For example, he created Hazar Ram Swami Temple. Hazar लिख लोगे ना, 1000 वाला हजार. So Hazar Ram Swami Temple at Hampi. Hazar Ram Swami Temple at Hampi. He renovated Veerbhadra Temple of Lepakshi. And Hampi is in Karnataka and Lepakshi is in Andhra. Okay? So Anantapur district of the Andhra is the Lepakshi. So Veerbhadra Temple of Lepakshi. Full stop. He also renovated Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. So now I'll tell you something interesting about the Tirupati. You know many of the things about the many places, but then one of the biggest community food services in India, and actually it is the biggest, it is the Tirupati. So there are two places which are often compared with each other. One is the Golden Temple Amritsar and second is the Tirupati. Okay? But Tirupati has much more bigger provisions then. So when it comes to the talk about the mega kitchens of India, so the mega kitchen of India is Tirupati only. Then it is said that on the general days 50,000 people are fed in the temple, and on special occasions there is a provision of feeding near about 2 lakh people in the temple. Then so 2 lakh devotees एक दिन में visit करते हैं, ये अपने आप में ही बहुत बड़ी बात है. But then they are given food, they are served with the food, that itself is a big achievement. So there is a social responsibility or social you can say that contribution from the part of the Tirupati also. Then, and in fact, the prasad of the Tirupati, it has a GI tag also. Then, so the Tirupati Laddu is a GI tag. But then there are many temples whose prasad is a GI tag. Okay? So majority of them are there from the southern India. Then, so northern India may I have not come across any name, but then chalo, if I will search today and art and culture ke class mein, so we'll be talking about it. So with the Tirupati Laddu, the class comes to an end. Okay? So so you can go, you can have a laddu today. Okay? And then we'll start with the art and culture next day. ठीक है? कुछ कहना हो तो कहो. बस इतना ही. ठीक है. चलो. So मैनू फिर मिलांगा. कका दिया. Okay. उनको तो मैंने हटा दिया. We'll mention about them in art and culture. ठीक है? When we are going to talk about the Ramappa temple, so there only we will talk about it. ठीक है? चलो. So आज थोड़ी जल्दी लीव मिल गई. दूसरी क्लास है क्या? अच्छा, 5 and 7 is combined and 9 and 10 is combined. हाँ, 5, 7 एक साथ है और 9, 10 एक साथ है. नहीं, I'll tell you one more thing. रुक जाओ. It's an experimental basis. Then तो 5, 7 एक क्लास होगी और 9, 10 एक क्लास होगी. जितने तुम्हारे नंबर्स होंगे कम होंगे तो कंबाइन हो जाएगा चारों बैच. So डिसाइड कर लेना. ठीक है? भर भर के आना. चलो, थैंक यू.